more.
I was watching one of your interviews और उसमें आप कह रही थी that the way you speak, a lot of times you've heard that you're a bit snobbish about yourself.
Yes.
How do you deal with these negativities when you hear about yourself?
When I did my first film, that was the feedback that I received, because people used to call me prim and proper.
Oh.
And that, I think people insinuate that in a way that seems to be negative, but actually that's a wonderfully positive thing, and I've learned to accept that that's just me. I'm not going to be any other way because people perceive that as bad or unusual or different. I enjoy being unusual. That's what sets me apart. That's how I've been raised. I'm a ballerina. Yes, I might sit a certain way. I might say a few words that other people my age don't say, but I am someone who is relatively an old soul. The music I listen to is from the 50s and 60s, so maybe I speak a certain way, or I sit a certain way, or I use terminology that some people don't appreciate or understand, but then that's me. And I've learned to not feel so negative or bad about people's perceptions, because that's also the space that we're in, right? So we have to understand and accept that that's going to happen, whether it's negative or positive. I've learned to take the good and understand that the bad is also going to come along the way.
I want to put in here that अगर तुमको कोई snobbish बोलता है, I don't know how that is, because she's the most easygoing person I've met, and it's been extremely, and not just because we are doing an interview that I'm saying this. It's really been a very pleasant working with her. It's a pleasure working with her, and she's not at all difficult. She's very adaptive. She's very easy.
Thank you so
much. So it's, I don't know why. Really?
I think it's honestly, it just started, that word people misused, I think, because I in my first set of interviews or whatever, I was a bit nervous, honestly. So I used to sit a certain way and I used to present myself in a certain way, because it was all new for me.
Yeah.
I haven't grown up in this industry, so and I guess because of my classical dance training, there's a certain way that maybe not anymore, but earlier I used to walk in a room, shake hands a certain way. I was very over polite, and maybe that was considered as snobbery, but actually that's not at all who I am.
Your director just said.
Yeah.
Talking about the film, ये transformation में set पे कितना time लगता था आपको to transform into Apurva, especially those action वाला part?
No time actually, because the only makeup I used was mud. Just mud and a little bit, as you'll see in the trailer, there's a little bit of blood.
कितनी बार चोट लगी थी आपको, इतना गिर रही हैं आप?
Rose. हाँ. Rose. Every day.
But honestly, it was intense, but it was really fun and completely worth it, because how often do we get to say that we get to have roles like this?
How often do we get hurt on set?
It was still fun, yeah.
And that too early on in your career, like you said, तो थोड़ा skeptical हैं क्योंकि serious role है, अभी you're just fighting.
बिल्कुल नहीं. In fact, quite contrary to that, I'm not skeptical of anything. I've never been more proud and more confident of something that I've been a part of, and I sometimes you just feel it in yourself. You feel like you've given it your all, and we do for all our films. All of us as a unit have done so many different films, worked so much. You always feel good about what you do, but there's a certain sense of pride and a certain sense of relief when I've seen the film. I'm like, you know what, everything was worth it. And a lot of good energy was put into this film. There was not one day that anybody was cribbing, upset, down. It was just a great experience, and I think that translates in the movie as well.
Yeah.